done. So now I get to do just really what I want to do. That is start out here. Over Anna Page's house. That's where they got off the boat. And they got off the boat, and they went up the hill, and they said, we need something to organize ourselves, to attract people here, to make ourselves memorable for all time, and we know what we're going to do. We're going to call ourselves something very special. We are going to be the Athens of the West. And then they realized they got a better map, and they realized actually we weren't the Athens of the West, we were the Athens of the South, so they tried that. And after that didn't do it. So then they started doing a lot of work up here on this hill, up here on Rolling Mill Hill. And up there, they had these great rolling mills, and they said, we know what we'll do. The thing that will bring people here and hold them here and make them want to be a part of what we're doing, we're going to call ourselves something that will resonate for all time. We will be, and some of you will remember this, the Minneapolis of the South. And that didn't do it. That really just didn't do it. So then we built a couple of tall buildings, and there was a lot of money floating around up there at about 4th and Church, and we said, I know what it'll be, the Wall Street of the South. That's what will cause people to want to come and be us and stay here. It'll be the Wall Street of the South. Well, that didn't do it either. And after that series of great efforts, and not as much success as we had hoped, we thought we would come up with a new idea. And this is about 50 years ago, 55 years ago, about nearly, we concluded for the first time in American history that the problem with cities was people. And we began to work very aggressively, and I think more successfully than any city in the history of this country, maybe the world, to move the people out. And we moved them out first in the area around the Capitol, and then we just kept moving them out and moving them out and moving them out. And so by 1999, there were 900 people living in our downtown. In a city the same size as Boston, the same population as Boston, 620,000 people right now, we had only 900 of our people living downtown. Now, I kind of take you through all of that history because it's just in that time period, a generation ago, really and truly, that this city began to focus on that thing which, in the end, has made us the strongest. And that's our neighborhoods. People are going to come and they see this, and they see fabulous public art, and they see the river, and they see all of these things, and it's terrific. We just sent an entire contingent of new missionaries back from the Women's Final Four. It was outstanding. But in the end, when they come back to spend their lives, to be with us, we hope forever, generation after generation, it's going to be because they find a neighborhood where they want to be, where they want to live, where they want to raise their family. You know, you work really hard over there. I do, and many of us in this room do, just across that river. And over there, you have an opportunity to grow old. But you have an opportunity to grow up in a neighborhood. And you have that for the rest of your life. Your kids and your grandkids do it as well. When this movement began, there weren't gatherings like this. It wasn't exactly like the ancient Christians in Rome, Dan Boone, gathered down in caves, but kind of like that. You kind of met slightly surreptitiously over there in East Nashville and over there in the Vanderbilt area and over there in Sylvan Park, in small groups that were not at all held up and acknowledged by the leadership of the city. Indeed, by and large, people were brought together by the need to protect themselves from the things that were being done to them and around them, and certainly not for them. The notion, Kathy Neville knows so well, that every neighborhood deserved a great school wasn't where we were. We were in a place where we felt, well, as long as my school's okay, or my kid can get to school. And I think Bob Nash knows, as does the police department represented here today. We were at a time where the places where we moved the people out, we moved the crime into. And thought somehow that would be all right. It was the neighborhood movement and the focus on people in their own neighborhoods saying, I deserve a good school, and I deserve to be safe, and I deserve sidewalks, and I deserve to be taken care of. And Berkeley Island knows very, very well from her own neighborhood, Betty Nixon and Stuart Clifton, back in not a long line, it's actually a very short line of political leaders who said, these neighborhoods are right. These neighborhoods deserve our support. These neighborhoods know what they're talking about. And so for a generation, the best leaders, who thankfully are represented here. If you are here in this room, you can believe yourself to be the best. There is an alibi for a number of people who are in Canada, and we understand about that, and that's okay, because know you were having this meeting with. But otherwise, the people are here, the office holders and the candidates. By definition, you are obviously the best and most supportive people in the world for our neighborhoods, and we're very thankful. And I'll say the same on behalf of the sponsors who are here, both Vanderbilt and the airport. We're not always recognized, let us say, for the record. We're not always recognized as the leading forces for neighborhood preservation in America. But the current leadership in both places are, and they believe it, and they support that. And that means a lot to everyone in this room. They are where they need to be. So, having remembered where we were, and then celebrated where we are, just say one more thing very fast. It doesn't have to stay this way. You know why I think, and I think the people in this room think, we're the good city. It's not because of the thing we might build next. It's because of what we are now. It's because of how we are now. And the things that we can do together to improve all that we are, which will involve lots more things and development and opportunities. But we have had, at different moments, times when we were confused and baffled and didn't understand what was important. And when we were like that, actually, we weren't the It City. And when we were like that, we didn't keep moving forward. And people didn't keep coming. And they didn't stay. So this moment in time that we celebrate, this organization that's been so important over the course of one short generation, actually a little less than that, is critical. Not only to where we are, and we celebrate that, but to what we can and will continue to be if we stay focused on what's important. And that's the neighborhoods where people live. It's the neighborhoods where people grow up. It's the neighborhoods where people launch their families and their dreams and their hopes. And ultimately the neighborhoods where they will spend all the rest of their time. Thank you all for everything, everyone in this room. And I think Brenda did an outstanding job going table by table. And you do deserve that recognition and much more. And if for some reason your name wasn't called, it's just because Brenda's eyesight isn't as good as it used to be. But she knows you were here. And if Brenda Wynn knows you were here, there is no question that you will be all right. Not only when you go to get your license plate, not only when you go to do anything that the county clerk does, or when you get married, or remarried, and she does a very nice renewal of vows. If you're having a particular problem at home and you think, why don't we just go renew our vows this afternoon and fix things up? Brenda can do that too, as I believe it, and it's much less expensive than it used to be.